Good evening, everyone. This is student meteorologist Daniela Strudy giving you a final evening update on Hurricane Helene. Still just skirting past Cancun and the Yucatan Peninsula, but the 5 p.m. advisory from the National Hurricane Center has it strengthening at 85 miles per hour, sustained winds, and moving due north at 12 miles an hour. Pressure has dropped to 978 millibars. We do begin to see some growing convection towards the center, showing that the storm is continuing to strengthen as it moves further into the Gulf of Mexico. A recon update from the hurricane hunters. We have, surface pressure at 975 millibars and also sustained winds on the outside at 74 miles per hour. It's just showing how big these tropical storm force winds are expanding outside of the center. Here is the forecast cone so far, staying relatively the same. It's expected to make landfall by tomorrow night within the coastal Big Bend area between Apalachicola and somewhere between coastal Taylor County, coastal Jefferson County, and anticipated to go up possibly to Category 4 strength of 130 mile per hour sustained winds. This is extremely dangerous situation, and this is why a lot of tracks here. This is the main cone of uncertainty. We have a couple of different models, some even as outliers going way to the west, but the consensus here is that it's going to hit somewhere between Leon County and Jefferson and Taylor County as well. Either way, with the size of this storm and the strength of this storm, we are expecting numerous impacts, even extensive destructive impacts. And right now, tropical storm warnings are expanding all the way to the whole entire peninsula of Florida and even going up into coastal regions of South Georgia. Hurricane warnings are extending from Cedar Key all the way to Port St. Joe towards the western parts of the Panhandle. Another huge threat to be concerned about with the new 5 p.m. advisory from the National Hurricane Center, our peak storm surge from Carabel all the way down to Homosassa is up to 15 to 20 feet. Now, mind you, put in perspective, I am 5'2". That is about 5 of me. Think about the tallest ceiling in a building. That is where the maximum potential of water is going to rise on the coast. This is extremely dangerous. You will not survive this if you stay. This is why evacuation orders are mandated in these areas, and this is why you need to get out. This is an extremely dangerous situation, and even going just north of Tampa and just west of Carabel towards Apalachicola, Franklin County, you have storm surge values up to 12 feet. These are the maximum amounts at high tide if that is to happen. We could have lower amounts happen, but regardless, still a dangerous situation. Another evacuation orders are mandatory for all of Dixie County, all of Taylor County, all of Wakulla County, and all of Franklin County. In the orange here, this is where we have mandatory evacuations for those in RVs, mobile homes, manufactured homes. Leon County today just announced a mandatory evacuation for those here in town in manufactured homes or mobile homes, urged to go to shelters or evacuate out of town. In the yellow counties here indicate that there is a voluntary evacuation. If you choose to leave, you may do so. In the suggestion, if you do leave, you need to go west. Going north or east will not benefit you, as tropical storm and hurricane conditions will still continue on after Helene makes landfall. And give you an idea of the winds, here's the wind radii. You see the tropical storm winds in the yellow almost engulfing the entire peninsula of Florida. And here in the orange and reds are the hurricane force winds. We can see that well enter Tallahassee and all the way into Jefferson and Taylor County. And this is where a huge concern is with trees, down power lines, and such. Max wind gusts throughout the region are expected to intensify through tomorrow morning, and rain values, although it's not working up here, are supposed to go up to near half a foot of rain throughout Tallahassee and the surrounding Big Bend counties. And this is extensive on top of the storm surge threat we already have and the amount of rain we have already gotten in previous weeks. Our ground here are extremely saturated, which is going to bring a huge flash flooding concern for our area. Putting in the motion for our future cast of Helene, we It's supposed to come up around tomorrow night and make landfall. But as we take a look at Doak, we see a lot of gray skies. And as that sun is starting to come down, we see some pinks off into the distance. Oh, here we go, those rain values. About half a foot of rain. We see almost 6 inches of rain in Carabel, and about 5 inches in Tallahassee. And of course, on that eastern side of the storm is where you're going to expect those heavier rain values as well, almost at 5 inches and 4 inches as well. And here we go again with that look at Doak right now. Again, those overcast skies. 85 degrees right now and cloudy. Got some light breeze from the south-southeast at 3 miles per hour. But this overcast weather is really what we're going to see and expect for the next 36 hours, as tropical storm conditions will arrive here tomorrow morning. And as we take a look into Shell Point as well, we have some isolated thunderstorms in the area. Temperatures right now in the low 80s. They're feeling more of that breeze from the Gulf at 15 miles per hour. And it's going to get more gusty as tomorrow morning moves forward. Same goes for St. George Island. Again, overcast skies in those isolated thunderstorms. And then again are going to expect the tropical storm conditions tomorrow morning, as well as Leon County. So we will get to a live radar right now, as another threat for the whole peninsula of Florida is tornadoes. Of course, with a tropical system, those outer bands, we actually have a tornado warning just in Key West, just in between Highway 1 right here. We see some circulation, radar indicated tornado, and that is another threat to look out for Key West. So if you are still in Key West right now, please be aware of this tornado warning in your area, and please seek shelter into your nearest interior room if possible. So yes, and with this tornado, we can anticipate more of these kinds of tornadoes, radar indicated water spouts, all of this to happen within the outer bands of Helene, and that is going to be another threat on top of the flooding, the heavy rain, storm surge, and extensive wind damage that we can experience. Live radar, we already see across central Florida. Oh, here's Helene once again, off of Cancun, again, like the update said. We can see some of this in purple right here, that convection, and here is a live radar for us right now towards central Florida. We see a lot of heavy showers and thunderstorms entering around the I-75 corridor towards just north of Spring Hill. We also see farther north into Cedar Key more of those isolated, bands of showers and thunderstorms. And even towards Lake Okeechobee, we see more of also those thunderstorms as well. So yes, we can expect most of the Florida Peninsula for the next day, day and a half to experience a lot of isolated thunderstorms, outer bands from Helene. A tornado threat is also possible. The extensive storm surge and the extensive wind damage that is possible on top of the heavy rain. There is a lot of severe threats affecting almost the whole entire state of Florida, which is why it's all under a state of emergency right now. And again, looking at Helene, we have a lot of this purple right here showing the strong convection that is forming as it is continuing to try and rapidly intensify in the Gulf of Mexico. But make sure to follow us on Twitter at FSU Weather, and make sure to like our Facebook page at FSU Weather, and follow us on Instagram as well at FSU Weather, and subscribe if you haven't already to our YouTube at FSU Weather, and follow us on TikTok as well on FSU Weather. I hope you all have a great night.